So, following on from the last session I did, where we ended up with, if you weren't at the last session, hopefully you've been able to see it on the YouTube channel, where we had we finished up with a sort of a nice straight rhythm where we were on the beat 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, and so we finished up with 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and then we played that sort of chord progression, which was the C, A minor, F and G7. So that's very straight. I mean, it does come up. You do use it? You do use that very straight sort of rhythm, where the offbeat is equidistant between the beats. So the beats being 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the offbeat is absolutely in the middle. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so there's but a lot of times, a lot of songs, you want to sort of introduce a little bit more a little bit of swing into it, which is a slightly different. I'm just moving the cursor. I've got the cursor right on the end of my nose. There's a slightly different a swing rhythm, which it gives it a little bit more life. And when we say that, what we mean is we're actually moving. We don't move the beats. The beats still stay absolutely on the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those beats they're set. They don't ever change. But the offbeat, which is basically conventionally the up strum, is slightly delayed. It comes a little bit. It doesn't come right in the middle. It comes a little bit towards the next note. So again, going into the rhythm side of things, rather than worrying about the counting aspect of it or whether you're going down or up. So instead of the straight rhythm is 1. So no, is it 1, 2, 3 and 4 and so 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to just create a little swing to that. So it's going to go 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. So that will sound like, when strummed, 1. So it's just got that little bit of a delay. Nothing, you don't need, it's something you've got to allow it to become instinctive, rather than if you're trying to do it meticulously, trying to do it by rote, you'll fail. You've just got to allow it to flow. Get that rhythm of 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. So rather than to just allow that sort of that little 1, 2, 3. That was a messed up one. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. So that's the sort of, just get that rhythm into your head. And so basically what that means is each bar of four beats will obviously follows on. So you effectively have got the 4 and the and that follows the 4, the upbeat, the offbeat that follows the fourth beat will actually come immediately before the first beat of the bar. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. So you've actually the two bars come very much closer together. So what that means is when you actually change a chord, you're changing the chord immediately after the upbeat, and then you move on, and it just gives you that little sort of lilt into the start of the next a changed chord. So if I was to just play through the the chord progression that I gave you, which is C, A minor, F, and G7. What I'm going to do is metronome's moved. That's it. Right. I will set the metronome off, and I'll just play through it. You can by all means join in. It's going to be set at 90, and I will play. So what I will play is the C, A minor, F, G7. Okay, and we're just going to play those four chords again. Just run through them. But what it will sound like if you is you get that, as I say, that little lilt on the note just before on the offbeat just before you change chord. And I'll play 2 chords on each chord, two bars on each chord. Right, let's set this off. Bear with me while I just pick up on the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Right, so that's sort of rather than that very formalized straight version, that just gives a little bit of lilt and a little bit of swing to the chords. So basically, if you're getting it, you know, as I say, you're just delaying the up strum. But it's very important that you keep the 4 beats going down. They are set on the beat. And so it's just make sure you're always, because obviously, as I say, if you struggle with the up strums, or you're learning a song for the first time, just do downbeats. But the downbeats must be on the beat. So we'll have another go through that little strumming pattern, which, as I say, is if you want to if you've written down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, if you cross out the ands between the 1 and the 2 and the following one between the 2 and the 3, so basically what your actual strum pattern will be 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and as I was saying last time, conventionally and easier, it is in fact easier because you just keep a constant movement of the hands if you play it on an up strum. You can play it all down strums if you want, but your hands changing speed all the time, and that can create sort of greater chance of an inaccuracy in the timing. So so this, as I say, this strumming pattern is 1, 2, 3 and 4 and, or if you want to go down the route of the down ups, it's down 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 up down up. But as I say, I don't tend to think in those terms because it just seems to put an extra thought process that you need that just gives sort of create an additional opportunity for confusion. So we'll go through it again. I'll set the metronome off. We'll go through that again, and then we'll have a look at another slightly variant on the strum pattern. But we'll just go through this one for a second time. Okay, so I'm just going to set the metronome off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So hopefully that gives you something to work at. Don't worry if you don't get this instantly. You're not required to get it instantly. My first recommendation is you go for, if you want to sit down and meticulously learn one, go for the straight rhythm. It's a little bit more, there's less to think about in some respects. But I also think that the swing rhythm is a little bit more intuitive. It gives you a little bit, it's a little bit more instinctive. I think the natural way of rhythm is that slightly delayed offbeat. So it's 1, 2. So yeah. So as I say, don't worry if you don't get this instantly. This is something to work on, and you'll just build it into your playing as you go along. It doesn't, that particular rhythm doesn't necessarily work with every song, but if when you're playing on your own, you can experiment with different rhythms. It's no problem at all. So talking about, well, an alternative strum pattern, which is actually quite a sort of a regularly heard one, is so in terms of talking in the numbers, it's going to be, what we're going to do now is it's going to be a 1, 2 and 4 and. Now that sounds, when you say it like that, it sounds quite but actually it's going to be, so it's going to be a 1, 2 and 4 and. It's easier for me to play it. You'll recognize it when you play it, when I play it. So that is basically 1, 2 and 4 and. So we're in this one, we've actually introduced a missed down strum on the third. So on your little chart of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you want to cross out the and between the 1 and the 2. So you've just got 2 down strums, 1, 2, and then you cross out 3, the actual on the beat of the down strum of 3. So you're left with 1, 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and. So I'll just play that again. So I'll do it quite slowly. Okay, so it'll go 1, 2 and 4 and 1. So it's that sort of 1, 2 and 4 and 1. And again, you've got that little lead into the next bar, because you've got the offbeat, the up strum, the offbeat, at the after the fourth beat to lead you into the first beat of the next bar. So again, it gives that little link, gives you a little link, and again, which gives you, as I say, that little lilt at the end of the bar. And it's all it is just it's an up strum, but it's just because it's delayed, it comes immediately before any change of chord. So we'll play through again this chord progression, but this time obviously with the new rhythm of 1, 2 and 4 and. Right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, again, keep working at it. It won't necessarily come instantly, but as I keep harping on about, think of the rhythm. 2, so it's 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and you see how it all sort of, as it goes through multiple bars, the rhythm carries straight through into each bar at 4 beats. It carries straight on into the next 4. So we'll have another go through that. I'll give everybody a second opportunity to go through it. I hope if I'm leaving anybody behind, that's why I want to try and go through it twice. But also, hopefully, you'll get the opportunity to go back and review this, the session once I get it all up onto YouTube. So it'll give you the opportunity to review it. So I'll go through it all again. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Right. So that is 2 different types of strum. You've got the first one we did, which was 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you've got the second one, which is 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. Now, as I did say last week, there are a multitude of different rhythms, and the more you play these rhythms, then the more you're able, you get, better able to sort of adapt and change the rhythm as you're playing. But as a nice another little exercise, what I thought we'd do is, you see, with those 2 strum patterns, as it were, as they are, we can combine the 2. So we can do the first one followed immediately by the second one. So we can play 2 bars on each chord, and we can play a first bar on the 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. And then on the second bar, we can do 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it will sound, I'll give you if I play just one, I'll just play it on C. So it'll go. I've got the finger caught. There we are. I'll go through that again. So those rhythms can go together, they'll sit there, and so you've got a nice little a variety of strums. You've got a little bit of interest over 2 bars of strumming there, and then obviously when you bring in the chord changes, you get that, you know, that additional bit of interest. So all you're doing is playing through a very simple, straightforward chord progression that we get all the time: C to A minor to F to G7. It's nothing complicated or, you know, unusual about that, but it's but it gives it a bit of interest, gives it a little bit of interest. So what we'll do is we will play through the 4 chord progressions: the C, A minor, F, G7, and we'll do the 2 different strum patterns as we go through, as long as I can remember to do that. So as long as I control myself and don't allow my instinct to take over. That's the trouble. Right, so wish me luck. Here we go. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I got totally out of beat there, I'm afraid. I'm going to go through that again. I suddenly found myself relying on instinct halfway through. That's the trouble. I do struggle a lot trying to communicate sometimes the rhythms I play, because I don't always know what the rhythm is myself. I just play on instinct. So we're going to go through that again for my benefit now. Right, bear with me. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I got lost again in that, but it's that just goes to show. I just do it on instinct. So yeah, but the combination of the 2 gives you a little bit more variety. So it's at 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2. So, and that is, you know, they're very simple, straightforward chords, but you play them with that slightly different strumming pattern, missing out on the second different strum pattern, missing out an upbeat, which is perfectly acceptable. And you can bear with me. I've got my running out time come up. Need to try and get rid of that just now. So you can play around with that. Stick to the basics to start with. Don't worry, but this is really, as much as anything, I'm not expecting people to learn all of this today. You can come away, and it's just to allow you, to let you know that this is what you can do. There aren't any specific rules about it, other than the down strum must be on the beat. That's the only. If you're going to put a down strum in, it's got to go on the beat. That's the when I say, you know, that's the sort of real, you know, only rule in any of this. You can, you know, I don't know, you can just mess around with, you know. You can just play around with the rhythms. There's no, the more you play around with it, the better, and the more comfortable you get with it, and the more instinctive it becomes. Most of the strum patterns I do, I tend to actually follow the lyrics in a song. So maybe we'll do another one of these, and we'll actually look at specific songs. Perhaps that's something to do. And I know somebody did mention having a go at doing some finger picking, so I'll think of something we can do in a few more sessions. But all of this is just to allow you to know what you can do. You don't have to be able to do it immediately. There's no requirement for anybody to do it immediately. If you want to just revert back to the single down, on the beat on the down strum, that's absolutely fine. So hopefully that's been of use. I will invite you all to unmute yourselves, and then we can, if anybody's got any questions, because we covered quite a bit today actually. So if anybody's got any questions, by all means,